Welcome to Tri-Valley Sports Final, your program for the best in local sports action. On this week's show, Sanae Sanders is outstanding on the mound as the Pleasanton Phantom 10 and under softball team squares off against the Sting Hornets of Albany, Berkeley. Brooklyn Hackwell comes through in the clutch as the Bay Area Bombers Vegas 12 and unders take on the Pleasanton Phantom Renzi. And Kylie Baker leads the way with a 3 RBI performance as the Pleasanton Phantom Hauser 14 and unders face the next generation fast pitch. All that plus the Phantom Hauser taking on Millbrae Mischief and much more right here on Tri-Valley Sports Final. Welcome back to Tri-Valley Sports Final. I'm Ian Bartholomew. On this week's show, we'll have girls softball. We'll see the Pleasanton Phantom Sanders 10 and under team take on the Sting Hornets of Albany, Berkeley, and the Phantom Renzi 12 and unders battle the Bay Area Bombers Vegas of Livermore in the Pleasanton Summer Classic. Then we'll see the Pleasanton Hausers 14 and unders. But to get things started with the 10 and unders, it's my co-host Tim Sabrandi.
Great, thank you, Ian. The Pleasanton Summer Classic 10 and under Gold Bracket Championship. On the line is a Pleasanton Phantom Sanders squared off against the Sting Hornets of the Albany Berkeley Girls Softball League. The Phantom were undefeated in their previous Summer Classic games, having outscored their opponents by a whopping 48-9. The Sting Hornets, meanwhile, were also unbeaten, having defeated their 5 previous opponents by a score of 52-24 combined. And there we see the inflatable at Ken Mercer Sports Park. And there we see the coach, Sanders, breaking the huddle for the Phantom, and there's pitcher Sanae Sanders on the mound. She would end up pitching well in this one. And there you see some of that heat. And a nice job by her all afternoon. So that was in the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first. It was Harper Lacey who drive this ball deep to center. And she slides into second base with the double. And that'll bring up Chloe Biederman, who gets a base hit into right. Lacey would score from second, and the Phantom would jump out early 1-0. And then Biederman, she'd end up stealing second base without a throw. And then here she is again. Alert on the base pass, getting to third on the wild pitch. And then after the bouncer by Valentina Landeros, it would be a ground out, but Biederman would score. And they would be up 2-0 at that point. So bottom of the second inning now, Gabriela Menzel would get the bloop single into right. And then with Menzel, again, alert on the base pass. Sees the ball get past the catcher. She goes into second base, and then she does it again here on the wild pitch. That's the Phantom just taking advantage, moving station to station, and then Sophia Maciel will get the chopper to second. She would be thrown out at first, but again, it would be an RBI as the run would score. So the Phantom would be up top at this point 3-0. So then Delia Singh would walk, and then with a similar pattern. Here's Steele. Here's Singh stealing second. And then once she's at second, she decides she's gonna just take third. So the Phantom showing their speed on the base pass. And once you're at third base, then you're able to come home. And this time she is after Josie Moreno pulls a ball down the line. So Singh would end up scoring. Phantom up at this point 4-0. And then with the familiar pattern, a wild pitch. And the Phantom taking an extra base. And that'll set it up nicely as Harper Lacey gets the ball into the gap. So Moreno would end up scoring easily on that triple. Phantom starting to break the game open at this point, up 5-0, and they're still not done in this inning as Chloe Biederman would end up walking. And then she goes all the way to second base as the defense kind of throwing the ball around the infield. You don't see that very often. And then Lacey races home and scores. So this really is a game of just expert base running by the Phantom. And here we see Sanders. She would get a hard shot to third. The ball would be thrown to first for an out, but Biederman would score. So Phantom just scoring a lot of runs, even while grounding out. So up a touchdown at this point, and Sanders there would end up inducing a ground out 1-3 on that play, and Phantom would go on to win the championship. Sinai Sanders tossing a one-hitter, striking out 7. The Phantom win the Summer Classic 10U Gold Championship, scoring all their runs in the first 3 innings, and they never looked back.
Yeah, Sanders was outstanding. Of the 12 outs that were recorded, 7 were via strikeouts. So she was great on the mound. They got some great defense and some timely hitting. They made the most of their 6 hits to score those 10 runs.
Well, just the way they were just having their way on the base pass. I don't know if, it was just at will, and that made a difference, because even as they're grounding out, if you're at third base, that scores, knocks in a run. So very, very good offensive execution.
And a walk turns into a double.
Yeah, a lot of efficiency, so very good job.
And that's going to do it for the Pleasanton Summer Classic for the 10 and unders. Up next, we're going to go to the 12 and unders and a close battle between the Phantom Renzi and the Bay Area Bombers Vegas of Livermore. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Tri-Valley Sports Final. It promised to be quite a battle as 2 of the area's top 12 and under girls softball teams scored off at the Pleasanton Summer Classic. The Pleasanton Phantom Renzi, coached by Baron Renzi, took on the Bay Area Bombers Vegas of Livermore. The Phantom Renzi had outscored their 5 previous opponents in the Classic 54-12. The Bombers, meanwhile, had won their 5 previous Classic games by a combined score of 64-7. We go back out to Ken Mercer Sports Park, pick it up. There's a look at the huddle as they break it up with the Phantom. Pick it up in the 5th inning. Bombers leading 4-3, showing off their defense. Autumn Shaw making the nice leaping catch, taking away a hit. Phantom, though, come right back. Braylon Renzi bloops the ball just over the glove. She's aboard with a hit. Juliana Pagano follows with a base hit up the middle. Bombers get it back in quickly, holding Renzi at second. More good Bay Area defense. Chopper to third. Brooklyn Hackle steps on the bag for the force. Ivy Azevedo is safe at first. Runners at first and second for Lucy Cooper, who singles to right. The throw to first gets away. Pagano races home with the run as Pleasanton ties the game at 4. Courtesy runner Abby Kerr, meanwhile, holds at third. Next batter, Emma Hauser, delivers with a base hit to center. Kerr scores. Shortstop Autumn Shaw runs it in and throws to the plate. The trailing runner is tagged out by catcher Zoe Miller. That retires the side. Phantom, though, jump on top 5-4. We go to the bottom of the 5th, last chance for the Bombers. Autumn Shaw gets things going with a deep drive to left. She goes into second, does a little celebrating. Brooklyn Hackle then follows with a base hit to right. Shaw scores to tie the game up at 5. Moments later, the pitch is in the dirt. That allows Hackwell to move to second. Emery Popick then hits a slow roller to short. The throw to first sails. It gets away. That allows Hackwell to race home with the winning run. The Bombers are excited as they win the 12 and under championship. Great effort by the Phantom as well. Good sportsmanship afterwards. The Bay Area Bombers Vegas edged the Pleasanton Phantom Renzi in a wild one, 6-5. The Bombers rally for 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th to win the championship. They scored all of their runs in the final 2 innings after trailing 3-0. And both teams are having a lot of success this summer. According to the app Game Changer, the Bombers are 15-11 to this point, while the Phantom are 17-8. So having good years and a lot of success.
A lot of success. I mean, that Phantom program is such a strong program, and look at the job. Pagano and Renzi. The 2 hits apiece. They led most of the way. They played really tough. They've had a great summer, and look forward to watching continued success for them at the 12 and unders. We're going to go from the 12 and unders now to the 14 and unders. Another outstanding team, the Phantom Hauser, coached by Brooks Hauser, taking on the Mischief of Milpitas. And there we are, Ken Mercer Sports Park. Pick up the action with Pleasanton up 1-0, and we see Charlie Macris keeping things going with the base hit. And then after the courtesy runner is on, Evie Lou, she would end up stealing second. And Olsen would end up stealing third as well. Victoria Perry walks right here. So the bases are loaded. And after Kylie Sims walks, and that'll set it up. Miley Shake, she also walks. So Lou would score. Phantom extends its lead to 2-0. And then with the bases still loaded, this is where the bases become unloaded as Mackenzie Mantooth doubles into left, and that will knock in 3 runs as the throw home is not going to be in time. And Phantom at this point up 5-0. Mischief looking to answer back in the bottom of the second with Emma Brooks at first. Casey Lou would get a base hit to left. That would put runners at first and second. Ultimately, Katie Ma would end up reaching on an error, and Brooks would end up scoring. So now the score 5-1. Mischief not done yet, as they would end up scoring on this play as well, cutting their deficit to 5-2. And because the bases were loaded, even after Maddie Blancover grounds out 6-3, the run would score. So Phantom, after 2 complete, up 5-3. Kylie Baker looking to get the momentum going again for Pleasanton in the top of the third, gets the double into deep left. Aubrey Hauser would walk. You'd have runners at first and second. That set up Milana Semprinio, who would get the sac fly to right. And Evie Lou, the courtesy runner, is safe. Running expert on the team. Pleasanton up 6-3 going to the bottom of the third. Maya Ortiz would end up being at first after walking. And then Alani Patalo would hit the double into right field. But excellent defense here for Pleasanton as Milana Sempranio catches the bunt attempt, very alert. Mischief still threatening though as Markel Wardell walks, so the bases are loaded. Catalina Lillis here would get a sac fly. Ortiz would score. So Pleasanton now only up 6-4. And then the wild pitch would allow Patello to score. So Pleasanton only up a run at this point, 6-5. And then Emma Brooks, base hit to right. Wardell would score. We'd be tied up at 6. And that would be the final score. As you see the teams after the game, and there you see the final score. The Mischief rally from a 5-run deficit to earn the tie. This is a close game between 2 good teams.
Yeah, and they're both having a lot of success so far this year. The Phantom 13-6-1. Meanwhile, the Mischief they've won over 20 games. They're 21-12-1. So both doing very well this summer. Yeah,
very strong winning percentage for Pleasanton, and a tie. It must be a time limit or something.
Time limit, yeah.
Well, a tie's better than a loss, so
there you go.
Congrats to them for that.
And we are just getting started with the Phantom Hauser 14 and under team. And next, we'll see them in action once again as they take on Generation Fast Pitch in another high-scoring game. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Tri-Valley Sports Final. Before the break, we saw the Pleasanton Phantom Hauser 14 and under team as they battled the Mischief to a 6-6 tie. Now we'll see the Phantom in action once again as they take on the Next Generation Fast Pitch 14 and unders. We go back out to Pleasanton. Next Generation threatens right away. Abby Gomez on third. Pitch bounces to the backstop. Gomez scores as Next Generation grabs a 1-0 lead. Now Jalissa Ramirez on second. Lucia Nudo lines a base hit up the middle. The throw home is cut off. Ramirez holds at third. Runners at the corners for Leah Aiken, who watches the pitch get away. Ramirez sprints home and scores with the slide to make it 2-0. Aiken then walks. Paige Ostrander then squares around a bunt. Pitch again goes to the backstop. That plays Gomez as the lead grows to 3-0. And to cap off the inning, Carly Brashear chops the ball to short. It takes a bad hop and goes into short left. Aiken scores At the end of a half inning, Next Generation leads 4-0. Phantom come right back though in the bottom of the first. Evie Lou grounds to second and beats it out. Lou's aboard with the infield single. Moments later, she is off and running, going into second with the slide. Now the pitch sails to the backstop. That allows Lou to hustle over to third. Mackenzie Mantooth then lines the ball off the shortstop's glove and into center. That drives in Lou to cut the lead to 4-1. Mantooth would move to second on a wild pitch, setting it up for Kylie Baker, who drives one into the gap. She races to second with a double. Mantooth scores to make it 4-2. The rally continues as Milana Sempronio singles to center. Baker rounds third and comes in to score. That cuts the lead to 4-3. In the second, Next Generation threatens once again. Bree Smith on third. Abby Gomez on second. Jalissa Ramirez at the plate. She squares around to bunt. Aubrey Hauser picks it up but has no play. Bases loaded now for Lucia Nudo, who bloops one just past second. Smith comes in to score as the lead grows to 5-3. Down 2 runs, the Phantom battle back in the bottom of the second. Maddie Fadoon singles sharply to left, leading things off. Mila Shake then rips one just past the second baseman into right. The outfielder comes up throwing. Runner is tagged out at third. Shake, meanwhile, moves to second. Shake would advance to third on a wild pitch, then come in to score on this blooper to center by Charlie Macris. That cuts the lead to 5-4. Courtesy runner Mata Fadoon would go to second on a wild pitch. Evie Lou then walks. That's followed by a hit by pitch by Mackenzie Mantooth. She goes to first. Bases loaded. Aubrey Hauser chops to short. Ball gets away. Everyone's safe. Fadoon scores. We are all tied up at 5. Kylie Baker then rips a base hit to left, gets underneath the glove. That allows 2 runs to score. Hauser advances to third while Baker goes to second. Phantom grab the lead 7-5. We go to the bottom of the third now. Stella Nudo leads things off with a walk for the Phantom. She would steal second. Kylie Sims then lines a base hit up the middle. The throw home is not in time. Nudo scores, and that would seal it. Good sportsmanship after the game. The Phantom rally from a 4-run deficit to defeat Next Generation 8-5. Kylie Baker goes 2 for 2 with a double and 3 RBI as the Phantom win. They would go 3-1-1 over the weekend, so good performance by them, and they've kept it going throughout the summer. They're 13-6-1 against some very strong competition.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we see from all Phantom teams at 10U, 12U, and 14U, highly competitive, real aggressive on the base pass. They're just a lot of fun to watch, and again, a sign of a real quality program.
Yep.
So that'll do it for softball. Up next, we'll wrap things up, and we'll update you on the Granada-Livermore Intermediate All-Stars and their quest to qualify for the Little League World Series. Please stay with us.
Welcome back to Tri-Valley Sports Final. As we updated you last week, the Granada-Livermore Intermediate Little League All-Stars have taken the first 2 steps in qualifying for the Little League World Series next month in Livermore. They won both the Section 3 Championship and NorCals. They're now playing in the West Regional, and they won their first game there in impressive fashion, routing the Nevada champion Mountain Ridge Little League of Las Vegas 33-0. Granada-Livermore pounded out 24 hits in a game shortened to 4 innings. 6 players had at least 3 RBIs, led by Caleb Wan and Caleb Savello. Granada-Livermore next plays Moore Park of Ventura County, followed by Colorado and Hawaii, and we hope they keep rolling along, playing very well, and you can't do much better than that. 33 hits, or 33 runs and 24 hits in 4 innings. No, you cannot do much better than that. They are absolutely on a tear right now. So. And in our next show, we're going to recap the high school year in girls sports. We'll take a look back at some of the top teams and players. And just like last month that we did the boys recap, we'll see the girls, many great athletes and performances throughout the year.
Yeah, you know, I know we'll be starting this upcoming season in a few weeks, but we got to take a look back. There were some great moments from last season, and we want to make sure we do that before the summer wraps up.
And then in August, we'll get you caught up in some of the local soccer action, including the Pleasant Ridge College Showcase. Lots of soccer going on in August, traditionally in the Tri-Valley.
And hopefully, we'll have Granada Little League in the International and the Little League World Series.
Absolutely.
They're on that verge of qualifying, and it'd be great if we have some of that as well.
Absolutely. And before you know it, high school football season and the whole fall season's upon us.
It's upon us, but we still have a lot more to cover this summer.
And that will do it for this edition of Tri-Valley Sports Final. For Tim Sprani and me and Bartholomew, thanks for watching. See you next week.